Miss Pascale says she and Mr. Gibson fell in love on the computer. But it's Mr. Gibson's sexting with other women that's crashing their system. Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
You may be seated.
Your Honor, the case of Pascale v. Gibson.
Thank you very much. Ms. Pascale and Mr. Gibson, welcome to Divorce Court. I'm glad to have you with me today. And welcome, everyone, to Divorce Court. Today, we have a case where our plaintiff is wondering if she should actually walk down the aisle. They have been together for 4.5 years. They've been engaged for 1.5 years. And although they have no children together, both have children from previous relationships. So before anybody makes another mistake, if you know what I mean, they want some answers to some very serious questions. Ms. Pascale, why are we in court today?
Hi, Your Honor. So DJ is my fiance. He's also my caretaker. I have a lot of disabilities, physical, mental, emotional, and he takes really great care of me and my son as well. My son has a lot of mental health issues, which he's so great with my son.
And your son's an adult, but,
yes,
but you are his primary caregiver still.
DJ takes care of both of us.
I see.
And he takes care of him in a way that nobody else can. Other people can't, they can't be around my son the way that DJ can.
But you walked in here telling me all these good, wonderful things that the defendant does. Why are we in divorce court?
Because I feel like he's cheating on me. And he's also very bad with money. I'm very fed up with this, and I just don't know what to do, so that's why I'm here.
So you're here to get answers, is that?
I'm here to get answers, and I am here to see if I'm going to walk down the aisle in that $6,500 dress I just bought.
Good Lord. Mr. Gibson, you heard what Ms. Pascale said. Ms. Pascale says that the things that are good between you are really good, but there's some stuff that's bad and has caused her major concern. What do you say, sir?
I'm here because this goddess is supposed to be my wife, and I'm here to ensure that this happens. She's the center of my universe. She's my everything, and I know I can't live without her.
Mr. Gibson, you have articulated that you are willing to fight for this relationship. Am I correct?
Yes.
So let me take you all back some. Ms. Pascale, why don't you take me to the time when you met so I can understand the dynamic of this relationship?
Okay. Well, when we met on Facebook. He kept coming up as a suggested friend, somebody I may know because we ran in the same circles. We're both musicians. So I was really kind of attracted, but kind of like scared. I didn't want to be the one to make the first move, And one day he bit the bullet, and he finally sent me a friend request. So right away I was like, ding. It was like instantaneous ding, and that's how we,
So you met on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Where were you living at the time? What state?
I was living in California.
And where was Mr. Gibson living?
In Connecticut.
So you all had a cross country.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. 3,000 miles.
And how long before you actually met in person?
It was maybe 2 years. I was very cautious because I've made some bad decisions in the past. My ex-husband, who I was with for 15 years, I married him 3 different times. I tried to make it work. He was the one who wanted his space every time, and now he's actually married to my 19-year-old daughter.
Oops. Oh, I always need a minute to gather myself when I hear something that I didn't expect. Wow. So I'm just gonna say this so that I'm clear. Please tell me that's not her birth father.
No.
Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. There was that, and I say that collectively on behalf of the entire jury.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord, okay? And Corey.
Yeah.
Okay? Can I get a thank you, Lord?
Thank you, Lord.
Okay? So, needless to say, you did not want to choose poorly again.
Right. After 15 years, I thought I knew somebody.
Okay.
Turns out I didn't, and I didn't want to make the same mistake twice.
And it's my understanding that Mr. Gibson moved across country, moved in with you and your elderly father.
Yes.
And your adult son.
Yes, ma'am.
But what has changed is you're concerned about him not just being unfaithful, but being untrustworthy with money matters. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So why don't you tell me about that?
So a little bit after he got there, we had to move out. So a little while after we had moved into a homeless shelter, he found a job where he was working. He got a few $100 check, and instead of putting that money towards a place or putting money towards food, we went shopping, and he bought $400 worth of toys. And what I mean by toys, collectibles. I did submit some.
I'd like to see what you're talking about.
Now in our home, it's taken up most of our home. Yeah, it's just anything collectible or stuffed animal-wise.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gibson, y'all are living in a homeless shelter during this time.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming accepting some sort of public assistance or government assistance.
Yeah, we're in a homeless program. We weren't out on the street. We had a roof over our head. We had a safe place to stay.
I know, but when you're making some money, you're supposed to be making that money so that then you can go and become a productive member of society, so then you can pay taxes, so that then you can be able to participate in society and help the next person.
Yes.
Rather than spending money on silly stuff. Because, I believe in public assistance, but it's not supposed to be your career. Public assistance is supposed to be the thing to help you out.
I'm not arguing that.
Right? So spending money on collectibles when you don't have a gig that pays you enough money might not be the smartest thing.
We all make mistakes.
But that kind of mistake impacts on your family and what you're able to do. Am I right, Miss Pascale?
Yes, ma'am.
She at one time was a professional gambler. When I had gotten my tax return, it was around $1,600, and we lost that in 2 days.
I was a professional gambler for many years.
At
one
this
point,
point-
I even won $26,000.
And I guarantee you done gave it back in spades to the house, because Miss Professional Gambler knows better than anybody. The house always wins. Because that's what I'm concerned about. Those are choices that we all make on what's important to us. And I'm going to have to assume being able to grow your family is important to you, right?
Yes. And I may be a collector, but she has a gambling problem.
Uh-oh. Tell me what you mean.
Well, I had gotten a tax return from my last job I had when I was in Connecticut. Mm-hmm. And she at one time was a professional gambler when she was taking care of her ailing mother before her father had become ill. They pretty much lived at the casino. That was just their thing that they did. So it's kind of like her connection to her mom. And so anytime she wants to gamble, if we have a little bit of money where we can, she looks at me and I can't say no. But when I had gotten my tax return, it was around $1,600, and we lost that in 2 days.
So something tells me neither one of you make good financial decisions. Miss Pascale, you didn't tell me that part.
Well, Your Honor, yes and no. I do go to the casino quite often with my sister or my cousin or, whoever takes me. But what he's not iterating to you is I don't use my money to gamble. I use whatever they have to give me to play with. And I don't go because I want to spend money. I go because I lost my mom, I lost my aunt, and I lost my dad. It's the only place it's the only place that I feel connected to them still, because I don't have anything of theirs.
Which is why I never say no.
And if he don't want me to gamble, maybe he shouldn't take me. Maybe he shouldn't.
But here's the thing. Casinos have lots of activities that don't require you spending money. If you like being in the atmosphere, go have a glass of wine, sit and talk, okay, rather than spending money that you don't have.
Yeah. And I think a part of that is that I was a professional gambler for many years.
I know,
I mean,
but
at
at
one
this
point I
point-
even won $26,000 playing.
And I guarantee you done gave it back in spades to the house, because Miss Professional Gambler knows better than anybody. The house always wins. So that $26,000 has been gone. But I mean, and you all are not, young people, so you all can make better financial choices. That my point is,
We're trying that now.
all of y'all, both of y'all, need to make better financial choices, not just for you as a couple, but for you individually, because with health considerations, in the long term, you're gonna need all that money that you're throwing away on toys and on gambling.
Yes, ma'am.
You asked for my advice, I'm telling you the truth.
I've also submitted some evidence of a text message between him and a current female that he is speaking to.
Do you love sex, dear? Who doesn't? Oh, that's you. So your response to that is what?
Women are living ultimate works of art. I consider myself lucky to take a free tour.
Can you live with that, Miss Pascale?
No.
There's your answer. I'm concerned about the allegations of cheating.
Yes, ma'am. So he spends all his time on his phone now, talking to many other women also on
That's how you
internet.
met him, Miss Pascale?
And this is the problem. I've thrown and broke 3 phones. As a matter of fact, the very first time I seen it, I threw one of the phones out of a moving car and lost my very first engagement ring by throwing it out the window.
Because you flicked the ring.
Yeah. And the thing is, when I confronted him, he says it's just art to him. And I'm concerned because that's how we met.
You should be. Mr. Gibson, what's up with this digital conversation with other women?
I do fully believe that women are living ultimate works of art. And I consider myself lucky to take a free tour through the exhibits of the Museum of Life.
Now, you do understand the person that you say you love and you want to marry does not like you having nude pictures of other women as a part of your art collection. So your response to that is what?
It's not up to her.
Yeah, it is if she wants to stay with you. It's up to you to do it. And if you say that's more important, then it's up to her to make the decision if she can live with it. Can you live with that, Miss Pascale?
No.
There's your answer.
No, and let me tell you, and it's not just him talking to other women, or there's conversations of him showing his penis to a woman who's sending her breast and vagina pictures straight to him.
So you're doing participatory art.
Still don't really consider it real.
But Mr. Gibson, you think it's okay for you to send, for lack of a better phrase, and be prepared to be pics to another woman?
Only when it's been asked.
Miss Pascale, does that work for you?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
And
I'm taking a list of what does not work for you. Okay.
I've also submitted some evidence of a text message between him and a current female that he is speaking to on
So this is
Facebook.
not in the past.
No, this is all current. And,
I'd love to see this. Okay. Love that, dear. Do you love sex, dear? Who's in the gray? Is that the...
That's her.
That's the third party. Who doesn't? Oh, that's you. Nice, dear. What's your favorite sex style, love? Depends on the moment or the partner. Can you suck a leg? Okay. It's what I live for. Really, love. Absolutely. So that's straight.
To me, that is so inappropriate and so disrespectful. That is not a work of art. That is a work of trash.
See, that's the kind of thing when somebody gets caught texting that there would be some slow singing and flower bringing because somebody about to die, okay? And we going to a funeral. What are you talking about? Where does that make sense? That she should have to put up with that, Mr. Gibson?
I guess she shouldn't.
Okay, that goes down on my list on what's not okay, because you asked me for advice on whether or not this relationship is in it for the long haul, I'm just making the list. Because I understand you have actual physical evidence.
I do. I was cleaning out my car, and I found a family member's lipstick tube and a pair of her underwear with her initials in it.
With her initials in it? Okay, Mr. Gibson, that's far beyond digital cheating. What's happening with this?
Over a screen is one thing that is absolutely nothing happened. From the moment that I moved here, she has tried to put herself in between the two of us.
So you're saying that was a setup?
Yes, it was
the
absolutely...
The panties and the lipstick were a setup?
Absolutely 100% a setup.
And you do know that the reason that this family member thought that she could set you up is because they know that you have been, shall we say, digitally flirting and putting yourself out there, because you've made yourself look like you're somebody that will get his groove on with whomever, lottie-dottie and everybody. So
Well, it was never my intention, but
that's the way
I see that now from a different perspective.
Yeah, because this kind of situation puts you in a position that you are loading a gun for somebody else to shoot the person that you love. That doesn't show me love. That doesn't show me respect. Ms. Pascale, does that work for you?
No, and the same family member that I'm speaking of actually still flirts with him, but she also did sleep with my ex-husband.
The one that's married to the 19-year-old daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Pascale, you attract some winners, boy. But, you know, one of the things that the court offered you, we always offer addiction specialists, we offer drug tests, we offer paternity tests, we offered a polygraph examination. But, Mr. Gibson, you declined.
Correct.
Okay.
Because I don't feel I need to. I know that I've not done anything physical with another human being since I've been with her.
Mr. Gibson says his truthfulness to you in the past is his polygraph examination. Fair enough?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I married a man. I have had him 15 years, and that man lied to me every minute of every day. You know.
And you probably bring that baggage to the relationship. Everybody does.
Yes.
You bring
Yes.
your history.
And I know some of the things I let slide. Some of the things are okay. The things that are not okay, he's not willing to work on, and I don't know if I should end this engagement or not.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Everybody in this room knows that you should end this engagement. Everybody. Everybody knows. Yes, you do. You're not getting what you want out of this relationship. We've been making the list together. And Mr. Gibson has said this is who he is, and this is what he likes. But if you are not that and that's not what you like, why are you in it? I know that Mr. Gibson has been a wonderful caregiver. Stay friends. But find you somebody that's gonna love you the way you deserve to be loved. I know you may feel lonely, but it's better to be by yourself than to be miserable with somebody. You wanted my advice? You came a long way.
Yes, ma'am.
My advice? You and Mr. Gibson can remain in friendly terms. Let him have his digital porn collection that he likes. And you put on your big girl shoes and grow a pair and say, not on my watch. It's time for you to leave. It's time for you to go and become the woman that you're meant to be. That's my bird.